Hi, I'm Aaron Marcus, and welcome back to the summit. I'm really excited here. We've got Mae Ross, who is the owner of 321 Acting Studios in Los Angeles. And this is a place that's designed for, teaching teens, kids, young adults. It's a very, very good acting school, and they have wonderful classes there. She also has directed and produced an incredible talent showcase for the past 15 years. So, May, thank you so much for being here on the summit.
Thank you for asking me, Aaron. It is a pleasure to be here.
Great. So, look, there are lots of acting schools out there. There are, that many of them that are really geared to the market that you have things marketed to, where you really primarily work with younger children, correct?
Yes, I do. I work with children from 4 and teens years and then into the young adult years. But yes, I love working with children, teens, and young adults. It truly is my passion. I love the youngsters, absolutely.
And so basically at your school, you are gearing them to begin auditioning, hopefully at some point, for film and TV and commercials.
Yes, we are definitely an on-camera school, and at 321 Acting Schools here in Los Angeles, we do prepare children, teens, and young adults for a career, or if you want to call it a hobby in show business. So that is acting and modeling and TV film roles, everything from sitcoms to soap operas, movies of the week, everything that you see in the media, new media also, internet. So we are prepping them and preparing them for a career or a hobby in show business, yes.
I always find it really interesting. It makes me smile a little bit when sometimes people will say, well, for kids, they're just natural. You really don't have to do anything with kids. They just know how to do this. And I've seen enough kids audition for things, and it's very clear that that's not necessarily the case. So what do you say for people who say, kids, they really don't need to, learn technique and sense memory? What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that, you know, children do have a natural ability, but we need to sort of flush that out a little bit and bring it to the forefront. And what we really like to instill in our children here and our teens and young adults, confidence. The kids need confidence, and getting in front of that camera will always help them develop and build their confidence. Showbiz wants to hire confident young people, people that are happy, that want to be there. And so getting in front of a camera can be intimidating for children and teens. And so this is really a way for them to learn how to be comfortable in front of a camera. Thus, they're comfortable everywhere. They can walk into a party, walk across their stage at school to receive an award. So it's the confidence building that really is such an attractive part of TV and film acting. They get to see themselves back every class, so they're watching what they're doing and learning. And yes, if there is technique to be learned, absolutely, techniques, camera techniques.
I assume that sometimes you must spend a pretty good amount of time kind of unteaching kids what they might have learned at home, where, a kid comes in to read for a commercial and the mom has taught the child that, when the word heart is said in the commercial, they absolutely, have to grab their, heart, and when something is big, they have to, put their hands
Right.
up. And is that difficult to get kids to unlearn things, or is that a pretty simple process?
Kids are amazing. I never underestimate children. But yes, there are those histrionics, histrionics like 3 cheeses. It comes with 3 cheeses, But we get rid of all that, or the pointing. That's one thing I always teach, that directors really don't like to see the children point. It looks too reprimanding. It looks too scolding. So yes, any of those habits that they've gotten from their parents or who knows, we will definitely get rid of those, and when they watch themselves back every week, they definitely will see what they like and what they don't like and what we like and what we don't like. And the kids are amazing. They will learn so fast.
It's interesting because, when, let's say somebody comes in and the child might have said to the mom or the dad, I want to do commercials, or I want to be
Right?
on a
They
TV
do.
show. And
They
then they
do.
walk in and you go to meet them and they are hiding behind the parents. You can
Yes.
tell they're scared to
Yes.
death.
They're so cute.
And I'm sure that, that certainly doesn't mean that they can't be phenomenal. How do
No.
you go about relaxing the child enough to actually get them to to talk, to go in front of the camera, to, do lines?
Well, actually, you know what I do, Aaron, is I say, you know what, little Johnny, if you don't have fun, Miss May's going to eat your shoe. And that one gets them every time because they go, oh, really? And we have fabulous teachers here that really know how to relax them. And, we get down on our knees and we're right at the same level as the child. And we talk to them and we say, hi, you want to come in and have some fun? And afterwards you get a little lollipop and we just have so much fun. I introduce them to another child. That's usually a really great way to get a kid to come into class is come here, Susie, say hello to little Johnny, and let's take him into the classroom together. So we have lots of wonderful ways that we can get the kids to relax and to want to be in the class. I have so many stories of kids that have come in that weren't sure about the acting. I have a child right now that is in the new movie with Jim Carell and Burt Wonderstone, and he came in and he was so shy. I'm not going to name names for the sake of the camera. He was so shy, and 3 weeks later he was just coming at us, and no sooner did that happen is that he showcased in front of the talent agents, which I do here at 321, and got a really good agent here in Hollywood and started booking, and he's booked iPad 5 and iPhone and the movie, and it's wonderful. And this is a child who came in shy, but we know how to spot them and we know how to train them, so it's really, really fun here.
That's an incredible story. Now for somebody, for a child who's never done this before, and all of a sudden they are given sides to read for film, and let's say it's a scary situation, and this is something hopefully the child has never experienced before in their lives. How do you work with them to get them to tap into emotions that they've never seen?
Well, kids are amazing. They're a lot smarter than we think. And what we do is whatever audition that they have, whatever sides they have, they bring those into class, and we work with it in class. And we basically ask them, well, have you ever been mad? What are you mad at right now? And basically we do a little bit of method acting on them. We'll say, well, what made you mad this week? And they'll say, yeah, when my mom, gave me a timeout. And we'll say, well, think about that. And they'll think about it, and all of a sudden their face expression has changed to this, like yeah, I'm mad, I don't want to do that anymore. And they know to use that in their script. And we teach them that it's probably going to be a casting director who's not an actor and how to do it, and we do it on camera. And we just get them to feel so confident. That's the key. If they feel confident about themselves, if they feel special about themselves, if they feel like they can almost go out and do anything, that's going to be a good actor. Because let's face it, for children, they want that confident child. Yeah.
And not to head off into like a completely new territory, but one of the things that you said that really made me think about this. I mean, it's just so true that, no matter what they wind up doing in their lives, the lessons that they have learned from, studying with you, these are lifelong lessons. And whether it's going in for a business meeting and having to talk, like you were saying, to a class, and just having the confidence to look at an adult and shake their hand and look them in the eye.
Right.
That's just really, those are really incredible things to be able to do.
They really are life skills, Aaron, and the parents love it because these children are growing up and they're learning them now, so they know whether they go into college or whether they're just talking in front of the class. These are life skills, and you can't beat it for the benefits of self-development and self-esteem. And we do have many, many kids that work here in Hollywood that actually really are doing movies and TV and film and modeling, and that's a fabulous product that they can get from coming here to these studios, is to be able to actually work on TV and film, and they like that.
Now, when somebody who really hasn't done this kind of work before, and all of a sudden they are given a script, they book the job, and now they've got a lot of lines to memorize, are there ways that you teach younger people how to go about memorizing things as opposed to adults?
Well, one thing that we use a lot is images. I tell them to like there's a commercial where, yuck, I hate vegetables, peas, broccoli, yuck. And I'll tell them, see the peas, see the broccoli, see the vegetables. So that way, if they have strong images in their mind, it's really easy for them to memorize because they're seeing those images. So yuck, I hate vegetables, peas, broccoli, yuck. So all they have to really do is see the peas and broccolis in their mind, and it's one way for them to really memorize. We also do a lot of repeating, and basically they're pretty set up to memorize because they're in school, and so they're learning having to memorize certain text and things like that because for tests. So they're pretty set up to memorize already, but we do help them on that level, seeing the images. Mm-hmm.
And so you also have showcases. And so for
Yes.
these showcases, what types of people would you be bringing in?
Well, what we do is we have a talent showcase where we usually have well, we do have for sure top Hollywood agents that come in, and we also have sometimes a few managers, but mainly top Hollywood talent agents come in, and we usually showcase anywhere from about 25 to 35 children, teens, and young adults, and we keep it small, and it's amazing. We had 36 showcasers last time, and 31 got agent callbacks. So we really do prepare them. We have a 2-month program here where they learn everything from auditioning technique to how to slate, and we put their resumes together, and we figure out their pictures, and we are doing an agent interview. How do you interview with an agent? How do you do that, and what questions will an agent answer? So we're going to give them ideas of what kind of questions. Like one of the big ones that most agents will ask you, people out there that are listening, is why do you want to be an actor?
That's a good question.
It's a great question.
And so how do you prepare somebody to answer something like that?
I tell them, don't say for the money, don't say for the fame. I tell them, you say you want to be an actor because it's fun and you have a passion for it and you like it. And that's what we train our people to say. And those that really want to stay with the business will stay with the business. And those that decide that they're not sure, fine. They've just gained such tremendous benefits by being here and developing their self-esteem and their self-confidence.
Now, you mentioned a term before, and I just want to make sure everybody understands it. When you were saying slate, would you describe to everybody exactly what a slate is?
A slate is the first time that any client casting director is going to see you on camera. It's the first thing you do when you actually walk into the actual audition room where the camera's there and the casting director's there, and the first thing they're going to ask you to do is slate, and they're going to roll the camera, and you're going to say your first name, your last name, and whatever else they've instructed you to do. It maybe they want to know your age or what agent you're with, and that's what you do. So it'd be like, hi there, I'm Mae Ross, and I'm not telling you my age.
Got it. And so,
Got
what
it.
a lot of people don't understand is just how important that slate is, because you can lose people before you even start to say any of the lines if your slate is horrible.
Absolutely. It's so important. I tell them that's the first time they see you, and a first impression is a lasting impression, and you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And we all know this, but sometimes, they get a little lazy, and so that's what class is for. Class is to practice. It's your rehearsal room. So you're practicing every time that slate is warm, and it's believable, and it's coming from you, and that you're looking into the camera almost pretending you're introducing yourself to somebody that you really want to meet, whether it be Justin Bieber or whoever it is, and so that you have that light, that bubble in your eye, so that the casting people and the clients and everybody who watches back your slate says, I want to get to know that child better. I think we're going to have him or her in for a callback.
Now, do you discuss resumes as well?
Yes, we do. In fact, the Talent Showcase Acting Career Program has a acting career seminar in it. It's included. And so the parents come in and the teens, and we write resumes. We do it from the beginning to the end, and actually I will edit them and complete them. So that's part of it. You'll get a really good resume if you come to 321 Acting Studios, because we have been doing it for a long time.
So here's my question, and there are many things in this industry that people have different opinions about, and then you really just have to make your own decision.
True.
So for an adult,
Yes.
we would never, at least my recommendation is, you never put your age on a
No,
resume.
no.
It's not necessary, and I think it could only hurt you. I don't even put age range. I mean, some people do that, but
Yeah,
my feeling is, look, if your headshot doesn't tell the casting director what range to bring you in for, then it's not a very good headshot. So don't potentially
absolutely.
lose out on certain auditions by, giving a specific number. Now
I
for
love this.
kids,
Hmm. Go ahead, Aaron.
now I was just going to say, but for kids, it's a little bit trickier because on one hand, that same philosophy holds true. There could be a kid who's 12, but he kind of looks 9, and
Right.
it's better that you bring him in for, the age that he looks like. But then on the other hand, especially when they're, a little bit older and, maybe they are, 18, or
Yes.
I always forget exactly what that age is where they don't have to deal with school anymore.
Eighteen.
It is 18.
18. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So if you can play a younger child, then
They
in
love
that
that.
case, then it
Hmm.
makes a lot of sense to put that down so that way they don't have to bring in, tutors and they
That's
can
right.
work you all
Yes.
day and you can.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts about,
Yeah, people, it's
resumes for
very
kids?
important. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Aaron. People, it's very important out there that you look like your picture, that it is a really exact representation of you. So before you do your pictures, make sure you have your hair the way you like it. Do you want to cut it? Do you want to color it? Make sure that you keep that same hairstyle for a while so that when the picture comes across their computer screen that they recognize you. So don't change your hair very often. And you really want to look your age, and that's really important because if you don't, then it's going to mess up the casting people. The thing is that Hollywood and New York and wherever they're shooting, London, they do like to have people that are 18 and can play younger because that means that they can work you longer on the set. They don't have to have somebody to teach you. They don't have to have a studio teacher on the set, and that you are a little more mature so that you can handle a lot more work and a lot more copies. So we prepare them for that too here.
But how about as far as ages go? Like if you have a 6-year-old or an 8-year
Yes,
old or a 9-year-old, do you put
right.
date of birth on the resume or do you
You
not?
know, we do because they really want that. The agents still really want that date of birth on there. Not all agents. I really can't speak for all agents, and but they do kind of want to know how old the kid is, or you can still put an age range. It's when they get into those later teen years that if you're 18 and you look 14, you definitely want to put on your resume legally 18 or put an age range. If you put an age range on your resume when you're 18, then they'll pretty much know that you're over 18. But they do need to know that you're legally 18. That's really important. But yes, the age, date of birth is still on the resumes.
And so basically, so you would keep the date of birth on there up until, um,
Until the agent decides to take it off, until somebody else. What we do here at 321, our program, our acting career program, is designed to get the agent, to get that agent. And so we put everything on the resume. Church plays, talent shows, dance recitals, music recitals. We put anytime anybody's gone like this afterwards on these resumes here at 321 so that they can get the agent. Let the agent decide what they want to take off.
and actually that's a really good point because
Hmm.
every agent might have a different philosophy about
Right.
things and you want to follow whatever, rules and regulations your agent has. So yeah,
Absolutely.
actually that makes sense. Well, look, we are starting to run out of time here, and I do want to get to some questions, and I'm seeing that we do have some questions in. So let me start off by asking you a question from Alistair in Ireland.
Ah,
What types of questions should I be asking when considering signing my daughter up at an acting school?
well, first of all, I would want to find out, because I'm a mom too, and that is I would like to know if there is a audit available, and what that means is can the child come in and at least watch the class? Honestly, my philosophy is to have them participate right away. Our newcomers, when they come into 321 Acting Studios here in Los Angeles, they get a free class. That's their first class is free, and they get in and participate right away because you want to know before you put any money down, is my child really into this? You want to get your child's buy-in, and you do want to ask who the teachers are, and you might want to ask what type of things they do in class so you can get a list of Are they doing voice and diction exercises? Are they doing some improv? Do they get to do scripts? And particularly that on camera, if you're looking for an on-camera school. Theater, it doesn't really matter if you have to ask if it's on camera, but basically how much can the parents see what the children are doing? That's always great, because then you get to see the progress.
So I guess it's really helpful then for the parents to get an opportunity to learn who the teachers are, what kinds of experiences they've had. Is that something they do at your place?
Yes, I think it's really important for a parent. I'm a parent, and as a parent, I want to know who are teaching my children. So I think it's important to go ahead and ask, gee, when can I meet the teachers? When we bring a newcomer in, we introduce them to the teachers right away, and because of the playback, that automatically gets the parents back in the last 15 minutes of every class, watching the playback, meeting the teacher, chatting. So I think it's very important that you know who are teaching your children and to find out about them a little bit.
Actually, something that you said I thought was really fascinating, that the parents come in to watch the playback.
They do.
So that way they are not in there while the kids are actually
No,
working. So that way they
never
really
do.
get the kids get an opportunity to relax, not feel any kind of pressure from a
Right.
parent. They might do things they might not do if a parent is staring at them.
Oh,
And I think that's a really smart idea.
oh, it's very smart, and you know, my years of experience always shows, even with the showcase rehearsals, I'm like, parents, let's have you stay out. Parents, children love you so much. They're so interested in doing their very best for you. So it does put pressure on them and make them a little nervous. So it's best for you to step aside, let them do their work, just work with the director one-on-one, and then you'll get to see what the playback you get to see after. But it's children, like I said, they love you so much and they just want to please you, so it's best that you're not in the room, and that's why on the set you're basically sequestered into a room with a monitor. One thing that's great about, at least here in the States, is that there is a union rule, or maybe it's a child labor law rule, where the parents always will get to see the children on the monitor, you know, on a TV screen, but not have to sit in the actual, you
On
know,
the actual set.
on
Yeah,
set, so that they going like,
great.
you don't want to go smile, Johnny, none of that.
Hey, let me see. We've got. Oh, actually, well, this other question was it was from Julie in Delaware about auditing in class. So you've already answered
Mhm.
that one.
Yes, definitely
Uh,
audit the class.
okay, here's an interesting one. This is from Mimi in New Hampshire, and she is asking,
Mhm.
how does she go about, or how does someone go about even trying to find a great acting school?
That's a good question, Mimi. I think what I would do is go online and look for reviews. Look for the reviews on Yelp, YELP.com, on Google. Find out what other people are saying about the acting schools in New Hampshire and in your area. That's your best bet. There's something called Rip-Off Report that you want to look at, and that'll really help you determine which schools are the ones that you will take your child to. See what other parents are saying. That's your best bet.
I think those are good ideas. One thing that I would like to add to that is that, in today's time period, as great as the internet is, sometimes you have to be very careful because, look, you could have one very angry parent who was expecting, their
That's
child
true.
to become the next superstar, and for whatever reason that didn't happen, and all of a sudden they're spending a lot of time online simply killing an institution.
You know, it's true. One interview can really ruin us, Aaron. I'll tell you, it's not easy out there anymore.
So
Yeah.
I agree you should do as much research as you can, but
Yes.
even if you do find one or two negative comments, it doesn't necessarily mean that the place isn't phenomenal.
I agree.
So
I agree.
just
You do definitely have to take the time to visit. And if it's something that your child wants to do, then of course you want to be the good parent, take their lead, find a good acting school for them, and go check it around, just like you would a college. Okay, you're just going to go check them out for her or him before you go.
let me see if I can squeeze one more in here. Um, oh,
Sure.
okay, from Devora in Ontario. Hey, is it better for me to find a class to work on my acting skills or a private coach?
Personally, I really like a class because that's where the acting happens. You really need to act with another actor because there's the relationship. You're creating the relationship. You're taking a set of circumstances that are not real and you're making them as real as possible. So acting is really in the doing with another actor. So I really, really recommend doing classes first. You can always do coaching, but the magic really happens in the classes. So go to classes.
And I agree with you 100%. And I think actually both can be extremely, invaluable to people. But I would also say starting off with a class, because one of the things that you will also get from a class is getting an opportunity to watch other people. And I
Yes,
can tell you from classes that I have taken and still take, sometimes I learn more from watching other people
sure.
than from what I'm working on. And then, after you've been involved and you've taken, a number of
Uh-huh.
classes, and then if
Then
there's
you
something
can.
specific that you want to work on, privately, then absolutely that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, trying to learn the craft of acting isolated is really,
Mm-mm.
it's very difficult because you're not just doing monologues
Hmm.
on every project that you're working on.
It's
It
like
was
trying to tap dance without your tap shoes. Yeah, and remember, we're making instant relationships. You have to create instant relationships in acting. So, how do you create that instant relationship? You need another person to create that instant relationship. Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, Mae Ross, I want to thank you so much. For people who want to, if they're going to be anywhere in the area of Los
Yes.
Angeles, what is the best way of finding out more about your school?
Yes, we would love to have you come and take a free class. And we are here at 3131 Foothill Boulevard in La Crescenta, 91213. And our website is a fabulous way to find out more about us. My reviews are there and everything about the school, our programs, and that is 321actingstudios.com. It's easy to remember. I hope you remember it, and we would love to have you come in for a free class.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Really, really appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't get to any other questions, but you will get an
Fun.
opportunity to ask more questions. I will be sticking around at the very end of the day, and I will
Yes.
go through any other questions that you might have. So anyhow, thank you so much again. We're going to take about a 2-minute break here, and then we're going to keep going with the summit. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Good luck. Thanks, Aaron.